Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. First and foremost, thank you to you guys out there for watching my video. I hope that it continues to be informative or at the very least entertaining. Thank you also for subscribing to my channel, and like always, feel free to leave any comments or questions that you might have, or even just advice regarding the videos I have out there. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hope it was a relaxing time with family or friends, depending on what you did, and I hope you didn't get too sick from all that turkey. And for all you crazy guys out there that camped out and went out for the deals, I hope it was a safe one, that you've recuperated from any injuries that you might have, or at least got the deals that you were out there for. It is my privilege to do this unboxing video for you of a newer marker. It's definitely quite a change from my more recent previous videos when it was just featuring the older guns like the Ion or the DM7 or the SL74. This one is one of the newer markers, and this one I just was able to get during one of the Black Friday deals out there online. This one came straight from Boston Paintball. Thank you, Boston Paintball, for helping me with any questions that I had and steering me in the right direction. Now, the reason I wanted to get one of these guns started back in October, November at the field, when I was playing with one of the regulars out there who recently traded their Lux for an LV1. And while we were walking out of the field and finished our game, I just asked to shoot a few paintballs through the guns. And I only fired 5 shots. And just from those 5 shots, I was thoroughly impressed with how different it shot. It was really quiet and smooth, and I was actually running around with an Ego 11 for the past month, and I was just really impressed at how different it was just from the 11 to the LV1, and basically planted a seed. And I was started thinking, oh, maybe I should. What if I do this, then I can get money for it. So for the next couple of days I was thinking that, or if I start looking to trim some of the things that I don't really use, maybe I can get enough money to pick one up really cheap. But on the other side, I started thinking, oh, you know what, I'm fine with what I have. I don't need to get any of those. The Ion and the DM7 were very quiet, no problems with them. I really like using those guns. And even with the SL74, it's reliable, it's a mint condition, it's a collector's item. I can't really get rid of this. This is what I have. It's good. And actually, it wasn't until late November, I think just before Thanksgiving, I just had a few problems with the SL74. I was getting extreme drop off, and it was pretty inconsistent. And I went through the whole things of what it could be. I went through the bolt, the rammer, relooped the HPR, the LPR, looked, and it was still happening. Now, I got to play a few games, but I left earlier than usual, and so I didn't really fix it at the field. And, after doing all those checks, I started thinking that it might be the Noid, which is like really impossible, because those are basically bulletproof. And I was just sitting there and just trying to check the gun, and somebody else had asked me and basically, hey, suggested maybe it's the QEV diaphragm. And after hearing that, I felt such a noob. I didn't even think about the diaphragm. I was just so, I had just had such tunnel vision. And a few times online, when somebody had the same problem, I would post, say, hey, why don't you go take a look at the diaphragm? And I don't even know why I didn't even think about it when I was at the field. But anyway, I couldn't fix it at the field anyway, because I don't really carry an extra diaphragm with me. So as soon as I got home, I did the usual routine, cleaned everything up, and I fixed the diaphragm. It actually had one small hole in one diaphragm, and the other one was totally ripped in the middle. So I tested it, and it was running as it should. Posted it online, at a decent price, which is very firm, and I just let it sit. So I was still up in the air. If I sold it, good. If I didn't sell it, hey, no skin off my back. But after 2 weeks, I actually got an offer from a guy in Canada asking me if I was willing to send it over there. And I said, okay, fine. Hey, just Just pay me the asking price plus some of the extra shipping, and it's all yours. And that was that. It was the 74 was a gun that I thought that I would never get rid of. It just, I just really liked the color scheme. It was gold and polished ready, so it was like an Iron Man type. But I also liked the way how it felt. It was tight, compact, and I didn't think I could ever get rid of it just because that, the color and how it felt. It was just too good. But anyway, it's going to a good home. He's actually a collector, and his plan is to collect some private label Egos and build an awesome display case to be able to show his friends his collection. So it's off to a good home. As far as the contents, you get the basic luxuries that Eclipse is definitely known for. You get a really nice zippered case. You get the oil, the Allen key set, a full color manual. This one also has the quick tuning guide and an explanation of the difference between the light rammer and the heavy rammer. The light one is for if you're looking for efficiency. The heavy rammer, which comes installed, is for smoothness. For me, I just decided to leave the heavy rammer out there because the local field, the field station or the air is really close, so I didn't really need to concern myself with the efficiency. Plus, I don't really shoot too much for a rec ball. I could go for 3 to 4 games, and I wouldn't really need to refill an air or anything. Now back to the manual, and I just feel like I have to stress it, and it's very important that this is something that any new user of the LV1 should pay close attention to. It's definitely different from any previous Ego in terms of design, and this manual has really helped me in trying to understand the advancement of the LV1. So I needed to take some time with the manual before I started using it or doing anything with the Ego, because it is more advanced. There's many more things to tweak depending on the style that you want. There's more things to balance, and it's not just the HPR, the LPR, or the dwell, just like the older Egos, the 11s, the 09s, the 10s, or whatever. But now you also have the Noid restrictor and the different rammer that you can choose. And when you put all of those together, depending on how you want it to shoot, whether you're going for smoothness or you're going for a little bit of efficiency and some smoothness, to balance all of them to make it the way you want, you definitely need to look at the manual. It has all the information you would need to understand all these different components to tweak it the way you want. Because of all those other things that you can tweak, there's a higher chance for a user error, and you'll definitely save a lot of time just posting it on the forums and having people just tell you, oh, just go read the manual, or this has been covered before, or just go ask this. Yeah, it's just definitely worth it just to go check out the manual for yourself. Another thing that comes with the Twister is the certificate of authenticity, which gives you sort of like a unique in-house number, so you know which number you have out of their total of 150. You can also register on their site, so you get an idea of actually how many Midnight Express, how many Skylines, or how many Kodiaks Boston Paintball has made. So if you decide to resell it, or just for your own knowledge, you could say to people, this is 1 out of 2, 1 out of 5, or something like that. And this also comes with a lifetime of free labor, which is awesome, which is great for anyone out there that don't want to do it themselves. They can just go to Boston Paintball if you're local, or just hopefully just send it to them and they'll take care of things. One thing that I need to stress was, according to the certificate, it's only applied to the original owner. So if you're looking to pick this up secondhand, I don't think that it's going to apply. You'd have to double check with Boston Paintball. They seem to be a pretty nice group of guys. So far I've had no problems. They've answered all my questions and things like that in a timely manner. So it's a matter of just double checking with them if that's something that you wanted to use in the future, and picking up an LV1 or a twister secondhand. Of course, you also get the bragging rights that it's a twister. It's definitely one of those head turner things because it just looks so different. Nothing against, you know, the graphical anos, but you know, the milling is just great to see. It's just a little bit more rare these days. You know, it's not like, from what I've been reading, you know, 5-10 years ago, where a lot of companies spend time in doing different milling, you know, like the excessive Egos in 05 or 06, where it was just totally different from the regular Egos. So this was, you know, definitely bragging rights. It looks really nice. So it was one thing that I also wanted to pick up. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to make this video and put it out there was because of the lack of pictures online. Just basically to show what it really looks like. Now, the pictures from the online sites are good and all, but it's hard to tell how accurate the colors were going to appear in person. You know, how deep the red is going to look like, or how light or how dark the blue is going to look like. It's not like easy to tell if you were getting a black marker or a silver marker or anything like that. And it, you know, with a twister, it was hard to catch anybody to see it firsthand. And for me to go through Google to see any user picks out there to give me an idea on the color I was going to choose, there wasn't much. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to make this video. When I wanted to get this twister, I was getting into the game a little late. So because of that, a lot of the more desirable schemes out there were already gone. Like, for example, the Kodiak was one thing I wanted to get, the black and the gold. That one was sold out. I think I was even looking at the Toxic, which was what, black and green. That was gone. The Vegas looked really nice, the silver and gold, but that one was gone too. I was looking at the red markers, which I also liked, but I've had quite a few red markers already, and I just wanted to get a change. So if I was gonna get this, I wanted to make sure I was gonna love the color scheme, and I was gonna be happy about it. So I just wanted to be able to see how deep or how dark the blue was, if I wasn't going to be happy because it was too light, and also how it matched the accents. So I was hoping with this video it was going to help somebody else out there that was in the same spot as I was, to be able to show how, you know, how dark the blue actually is, because it's not actually or accurately represented in some of the stock pictures out there. As far as the milling on this beauty, Boston Paintball did a wonderful job with the milling. It actually is more beautiful and more intricate when you see it in person. You know, in person, they did a wonderful job with it. When I first got it, when I was choosing to go and get it, my main concern was getting hit on the gun and getting paint in the grooves, and how difficult it was going to clean up when I was at the field. But when I actually used it for the very first time, just a few swipes of the microfiber cleaned most of it up. So it really wasn't a problem. It was nice. It was pretty easy to clean. It didn't really add any difficulty to cleaning up when I was at the field, or also when I was at home. Now, my impressions of the gun, now it's totally different from when I first saw pictures of it and when it first came out. Like many others out there, when it first came out, I was one of the many that said it looked awkward, or it kind of looked uncomfortable, you know, especially with the AT pipe. It might get in the way, or it was kind of a failed attempt to eliminate the macro line but not really have interior passageways, because they want to keep it reliable, and if anything should happen, to try and troubleshoot where the leak was coming from, if it was all interior, it might be difficult to pinpoint. but it's totally different now. I have no problem with the AT pipe. I don't even think about it when I'm holding the gun or even while I'm playing. It's just one of those things that you just have to hold it for yourself to see how comfortable it is and how it feels for you. Like I said, the AT pipe didn't even feel like it was in the way. I didn't even think about it. Another thing that I liked about it was the space for the thumb. You know, the space between the high pressure reg and the trigger guard. It feels very comfortable, and I like the rubberized part in it. When I play, I usually don't use gloves. I mean, it's just rec ball, so I don't really feel the need to use gloves. I carry them, but I don't really use them for the most part. But when I grip it, there's plenty of space, and it just feels very comfortable. Now, when I used to have the GT, like many of you might know, they had some sharp edges on the trigger guard and around that space. Now, for me, it was just a minor annoyance. It wasn't really a big deal, but sometimes when I was playing it, I would feel it. But, you know, it's just one of the things that I wanted to point out with the LV1. It's just much more comfortable, and they made a note of that. Now, as far as the ergonomics, I don't know if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels wider than the Ego 11. I don't have the Ego 11 anymore, so I can't really directly compare it. But when I hold the LV1, it just feels so much wider. Because it is so much wider, it seems that it's more stable, or when I'm snap shooting, it seems a little bit quicker. I don't know, it could just be all in my head. But also because it is wider, I'm used to the tight fit, or the tightness of the SL74 or the Ion, the way I made it. So that's one thing I have to get used to when I play with this a little bit more. The way that the high pressure reg is also shaped is another wonderful plus of the gun. It's not the typical round feel or the round regulator like the old Egos, and it's actually more comfortable than the off circle regulator that the GT had. This one, it just blends in. I don't know, it just feels like as if I'm grabbing the back of the gun, the grip frame. That's just how comfortable the HPR is for me anyway. So basically, that's just my 2 cents on the LV1, my initial impressions of it and what I thought about it. So far, I'm really satisfied with getting the gun. I know I missed the SL74, but going into this LV1, it's, a wonderful shooter, so that kind of helps. As of right now, I've only used it one time, and I've only shot about a case through it. So far, it's a wonderful gun, and right now, for the past couple of days, I'm trying to shoot a few pods here and there in the back. I'm just trying to get a feel for it, trying to tweak it a little bit, and each time I do, I'm still surprised at how quiet and how smooth it is. Unfortunately, I can't really let it rip in the backyard, but when I can, I'm going to try and tweak it a little bit more, and hopefully next time I go in the field, which is the next couple of weeks, I guess, depending on the weather, because right now it's snowing, and also the Christmas season, so everybody's going to be running around and pretty busy. But hopefully the next time I go, I'll definitely take out the camera again and record some gameplay, some rec ball, just to update you guys on the LV1. So with that, thank you again for watching the video. Hopefully this was informative if you were looking to get an LV1 for yourself, or if you just needed to kill some time, that it was a little bit entertaining. Feel free to leave any comments, any advice for me in using the LV1, anything that worked for you. I know, LV1s are different, so not one setting works, which is true for any marker. But if you feel the need to share some of the experience that you had, which one works better, if you like the other rammer, or if you like to tweak the dwell first as opposed to the restrictors, feel free to leave those comments. Thanks for watching.